You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE SmackDown After Show.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Rick.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Did you know that Bing is for doing?
I did.
Do you know what we're doing?
SmackDown AfterBuzz?
Yes, we are.
All right.
After show.
Again.
And we have a testosterone-driven show today because we're minus a female. And I want to send my condolences out to Patricia because she had a tragic death in her family just yesterday, and it's really hit home with her hard. So I want to send my sympathy and our condolences.
As
and
we
our
all
hearts,
do.
And we do, because it's a very sad, hard thing to go through right now. And so we're with you, Patricia. Just know that. We're with you. I want to introduce our first guest, Austin Draven, who's been wrestling for quite a few years. He's also got a master's in, is it literature?
History, 12th century romance literature.
Oh, my God.
In history, yeah.
Did you say romance?
Romance literature, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Marissa.
Austin Draven, he's a wonderful guy. He's very, very tall. Makes me feel very, very short, but nevertheless, he's here with us. And
Makes me feel short, too, and I'm 6'1".
Yeah, well, I used to be. And, of course, Ryan Clum, our pro, our man of the encyclopedia of wrestling.
I actually have a wrestling encyclopedia right next to my couch, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Are you a mark?
I do not consider myself a mark, no, because I do not wear luchador masks when I go to see shows.
I have those at home for girls I bring over. I make them wear them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Instead of the paper bag?
Paper bag wore out. Man. Yeah. I use that to throw the peelings in. And then our next guest today is a good friend of mine, Gary Kasper, who's a stunt man. He's in Waterworld. He was on what's that show that Scare Tactics?
Yeah, did a lot of those. About 25 episodes.
He wrestled for some shows of mine. He can do we've done almost everything in the world together, Gary Kasper, and I'm really happy to have you here.
And I was going to wear my luchador mask, but I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Rick wanted me being dragged just to bring some estrogen to the show. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and be a little feminine, bring my feminine side out on this.
Yes. You would have been very feminine with Fu Manchu. It would have been great.
We worked almost everything together.
Yeah, we have. We've done print work, like I was saying, and we've done film together. We've done television.
Porn.
We haven't done porn. Yeah,
We're too old for that.
Okay.
You're never too old for porn.
I don't know.
It's always a fallback.
And I did get in the ring with you and fought you, actually.
Yes, you did.
We slammed each other.
We had a show in Burbank, and he and Aaron Baker choked me out with a stick.
Are you sure it wasn't porn?
Austin, I'm worried about you. Well, I'm worried about you. You guys choked me out, and you thought you put me out?
Yeah, you guys. Seriously, I thought you were unconscious all the way.
Yeah.
Going to start CPR on you.
No, I was just taking a break.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to talk about SmackDown. Did you watch SmackDown?
I watched SmackDown last night. It was great.
You get off on it?
Yeah.
Good. I know Austin did.
I watched The Celebrity Apprentice. Oh, wait.
Same show.
Same show, you're right.
And so we started with, what was it, Jericho, Del Rio, and Orton, and Laurinaitis wanting a title shot.
Yes, right? And first I just want to say there were 10 matches last night.
I have 11.
I counted. There was the promo as well, but there were, I think it was 10 actual matches.
I got a dark match.
Oh, you got a dark match on there? Okay. Which is a lot. I mean, that is a lot of matches.
That was because the Fatal Four kind of got chaos there.
Yeah, totally.
That's
in the beginning, Sheamus and Orton and all them. And first, if you notice, when Sheamus, he's got that injury he's been selling on the shoulder. Yeah. He came down, wasn't moving that arm. He was high-fiving the crowd when he went to the left side of the crowd. He was using that same arm. You know, usually he'd go to the left. And he was really selling.
Well,
that,
his arm was hurt.
Was
what do you
really
expect?
Great. Exactly. Yeah, and I just love that.
And he did. He had it wrapped up. He had it taped really nice. But it's sometimes a target. Sometimes when you tape an injury like that for other people.
And that is the point. They've been selling that last week. They injured the arm, and so this is kind of a progression with him. doing that. But like Orton tagged him on the shoulder, and obviously Sheamus wasn't a big fan of that, so they were playing up that shoulder. I really like that.
That's funny as you say that. It's been a target for years in wrestling. No matter what you go in with that you have taped up, that's what you go for.
And we used to fake that. Actually, put it on the other side. So you like if you have a bad knee, you take both knees and put braces on them, and you don't know which one is which.
I actually have a bad knee right now, and I tape it up, and it's the first thing they go at in class.
You weren't there when we had class once when that 45-year-old guy came to my class wrapped in duct tape from all the way down to his shoulders, his hands. Do you remember that, Austin?
I recall a vision of that. I think I was before my time though, but I heard a lot of stories.
Yeah, he came wrapped in duct tape, so he went for the whole body. He was injured. I mean, he looked like the Michelin Man.
Smart. Oh my God. Early on, also Sheamus was tapping out real quick. I mean, he was tagging out real quick. He got in there, he got out right away.
Right.
He's putting Orton back in there all the time.
Yeah, they were kind of playing off because they're not really friendly with, because the four of them are going to be wrestling a four-way for the title in a couple weeks.
But it kept coming back to it and back to it and back to it.
Yeah, which is good. This is like
old school. It was a 2-hour match.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
But I enjoyed how they used that match, if it all fell apart, and they kind of used that as a vehicle to set up 2 other matches.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I knew that. I'm playing with you.
No.
But it was a good way of showing that match and seeing where you're going with it. I mean, it really kept you coming back to it.
It was a good way to start the show.
Absolutely.
Which was a bit of a rematch for they had the same match on Raw.
Right.
So it was a rematch from Raw.
I thought that Sheamus and Randy, though, had looked so much more powerful. Personally, I just think those guys are just a powerful.
Well, they are. I mean, they're
he loves Sheamus.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I say I'm personally a huge Sheamus fan. I just think I've said 5 years from now, I think he may be the biggest star in the world. Just the way the audience is reacting to him right now.
Yeah.
He's more and more and more people they're loving him.
He's different.
Yeah. He looks completely different.
Yeah. The red hair and the white skin. The very white skin.
Austin, you can chime in whenever you like.
Yeah. No, I met Sheamus a couple times. And he's a really nice guy, and like he's got like a really good head about wrestling, and he's got a lot of solid opinions, and just he's giving me some advice and stuff. And I think what they're doing with him is a product of both his hard work. And also the fact that he's been able to make the right connections in the industry and befriend the right people in charge and stuff, and it's helped him along the way as well. But he's got a lot of talent too, and he's big. He's really big. So
is he real big?
Yeah, he's in person. He's like a tree trunk. I mean,
his quads look huge. What's his background? A football player?
Well, I don't know, but actually, speaking of quads, he actually commented on my quads and told me I had nice legs. So coming from Sheamus,
I got to tell you something, Austin.
I felt pretty good about that.
No, I got to tell you something. Your legs and heels and pantyhose are awesome.
What happens on a Saturday night in West Hollywood is between us. Okay,
we won't take it any farther. That's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right?
Well, hopefully.
Okay.
Except for in the blood test. Doesn't stay.
No, I know.
Yeah.
All right. So are we going to go on to AJ?
Moving on to AJ versus Kaitlyn, which, I mean, I don't know if it wasn't really much of a match. It was more of just a character development spot, really, for AJ to play that little kind of, she's going psycho.
We're talking about girls now, Austin, so you might not want to.
Yeah, I'll take a,
You take a break? Okay.
Yeah.
Kaitlyn, is she the same size as AJ?
No, she's bigger than AJ.
She looked awfully short when she came in. I know. I thought so when I saw her on the promos, but when she came in the ring, she looked like she was the same size.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. I'll take one on each side.
Yeah.
Now
they're both good-looking women.
AJ is something that
you like that
same personality that you like to date. Actually, I believe.
No, what would you say?
Psychotic and desperate?
Crazy.
Is her character is?
You know what, Gary? I'm definitely attracted to that. There must be something going on there with the looks and the idol worship, and then crazy.
She is beautiful, and I got to say this: that slap was incredible. And if you guys ever been slapped and they catch a piece of your ear,
yes.
Oh my gosh,
eardrum gone.
Yeah. And you know what? She hit her so hard.
Yeah.
I was blown away because you could hear it, you could feel it, you just knew it.
I have to ask you something because I asked Mike Sanders the same question, and I'm still on this subject. Would you buy Girl Scout cookies from her?
Of course.
Yes. Would you invite her in?
I don't know if I'd invite her in, especially if she's just sitting there looking at me going, buy my cookies, man.
No. See, that's what turns me on. I like that.
You like the crazy?
I don't know. I think though, Kaitlyn, like physically, like her, like I know she does like all the powerlifting and or the Olympic lifting and stuff, and like I think, I'd like to see more of her in the ring.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. She's got some pipes on her.
Yeah.
She's got some big arms. Yeah.
She has a great body.
And I thought that she was
if you like that kind of thing.
Crush AJ. But you know what? It's just the element of surprise and just jumping on her and pounding her. Because if it was just a go time, it would have been Kaitlyn.
Yeah, and they did a similar match with a couple weeks ago with her and Natalya where she just snapped and went crazy and beat her up, and then they pulled her off. Or this time she got the pin.
That crazy strength, man.
Yeah.
That adrenaline.
This is very different today, talking about these girls without a woman's opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can say whatever we want.
Well, I know. We don't have anyone to keep us in check today.
No.
I'm a feminist.
I know you are.
Thank you.
Well, then that led into the Daniel Bryan promo.
Right.
Which he came down and told AJ and got our hopes all up and told her that he was impressed with her, and then very meanly told her that he was going to go after Kaitlyn.
Yes. And you and I talked about this today.
Mm-hmm.
Her facial reactions, and I don't know if you know, I mean, she's an actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not typical wrestler facials. It's different, and which is really plays well into the story.
And she set up that slap, and she didn't do it. I thought she was going to nail him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she just started like freaking out. You got the crazy eye. The crazy eyes started to go, and it was like, I mean, maybe she's just going to go kill Kaitlyn instead.
I've seen that look before, Gary.
Oh boy.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. Yeah, you like to take him to dinner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But Daniel Bryan is just becoming a bigger jerk every week. I mean, just the smile on his face when he was telling AJ he was going to go after Kaitlyn was like, it was like that smile that he was purposely trying to hurt her this time.
Yeah.
He's so good at it, too.
Yeah.
He's very good at it.
Yeah. It's just so natural, it seems.
Yeah.
For him being also, very, nice guy, and he's been through the independent circuits for years and stuff. But, I mean, his skills on the microphone are surprisingly amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that when he first came in.
I didn't either.
Well, he's one of the best. I mean, he's great in the ring, and now he's good on the mic. I mean, that's the total package.
Yeah. That's why, and he's over with the crowd as well, with the yes chants and everything.
Big time.
Yeah. And when, when they made him, when they put the title on him and he was a babyface and the place went nuts and everyone was so excited to put the title on him, I was like, and they started turning him heel. It's like, really? Why are they turning him heel? Because he was so over as a babyface, but now I'm seeing, it's so much better.
It works.
Yeah, every woman's going to want to see him get pounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just really want to see him get beat up right now. It's great.
I'm just really curious. I should say that for our predictions to see where they go with that with Kaitlyn and the two of them, because it's interesting. I think we have to do something, don't we?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I get to read an Amazon thing here for Marissa. This is for you. So before you're going to shop online at Amazon, first go to AfterBuzzTV.com. That's AfterBuzzTV.com. And click on the Amazon banner at the top, and then shop. AfterBuzz gets a kickback of your purchases. No extra cost. It's a way to support AfterBuzz TV so we can keep doing after shows for you. Thank you. Go to AfterBuzzTV.com, click the Amazon banner, and shop, coaches and coachettes.
Very nice.
That was good.
Very good.
I would have butchered that. Yeah.
So what happens when you have a master's degree?
And Marissa liked it.
Oh, thanks.
Did you?
Did you?
I did like it, thank you.
Okay, cool.
I like you, Marissa.
Oh.
Oh, my God. This is blind date.
We got a love connection.
All we need is
going on.
Roger Lodge now.
Oh, boy.
And I had
dream.
Roger Lodge out to my wrestling school 4 times on blind dates. We hooked up the girls, and the girls always beat the guys. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, we had a good time.
I'd, go on a hot air balloon ride or something with her, or something romantic like
Yeah,
that.
and then pop the balloons.
Maybe a bike through a vineyard, a 2-seat bicycle through a vineyard.
Yeah. All right.
So that led right into Daniel Bryan and Big Show's
Yes.
Big Show's match, which was very short, but they told a story. I liked it. And got into the whole John Laurinaitis pushing his weight around and giving the Big Show a hard time.
Yeah.
Which
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Big Show is going to do an AJ on the general manager right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's coming.
Yeah, it is. But I love the fact that they've kind of are going, who else would hire a 40-year-old, 7-foot, 440-pound freak? And, Big Show, like, I know I'm playing it off, which in reality, if he had to leave tomorrow, he'd have plenty of work.
Oh, of course.
Elsewhere.
Of course.
But, it's a really great story.
Yeah, and they're playing on like what his insecurities maybe as a human being are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always being the, kind of the freak in the bunch. And so it's really interesting, writing and psychology there.
Yeah.
But tell me this, because we haven't talked about his work's getting better.
Big Show?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think especially, he's been in the business like 20 years now probably. And, he's not doing what he did when he first started, which was like, there's YouTubes of him doing a kip up and drop kicks and stuff like that. at his size.
Yeah.
But
Moonsaults.
Yeah, but I don't know. Has he ever done moonsault?
Yeah, he was doing moonsaults in the beginning.
Wow.
But he's still like for what he's doing now, like he's he's in there and he's competing every night, and it's impressive, especially when he's so big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's doing a lot for his size.
Yeah.
And a lot of bumping these days.
A lot of bumping. When he started, he wasn't near that heavy.
No, he looked like trimmer and stuff.
A lot trimmer.
Yeah.
A lot trimmer.
But then he got heavier than he is now.
Yeah.
Right, and then
he
came
did
back.
get up to 500 or so, and he's back down a bit. But
Yeah.
he looks like a giant now, but still is in much better shape.
Yeah.
He's a powerful guy. Powerful guy.
Yeah, he's a special performer.
And then Laurinaitis chewed him out, like we just said.
Yeah, which I love as I said before, I love the Laurinaitis character.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he's now, the power's going to his head big time now that he's got all this and really pushing his weight around like that.
I just want to see him in the ring working.
Yeah, I can't wait
too.
to wrestle Cena in this coming.
Because you showed me the videos, and the guy was really good.
Yeah, he can work.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
He's a star in Japan. Yeah, he's a big star in Japan.
You know what?
He's a champion out there.
I saw the setup with Cena, and I'm like, going, this is going to be murder.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is going to be
How old is
fun.
Laurinaitis?
Oh, I don't know. He's got to be in his 50s, right?
I'm not sure. I would think so. I mean, he looks great though.
Yeah, I mean, if he can still work.
Yeah, he's Road Warrior Animal's brother.
Yeah.
I think he's his younger brother.
Did he shout his voice down? Because it's like this, it's it's blown out.
And he said something. He said on Raw, because on Raw he said this week he's now not letting anyone make fun of his voice.
Exactly.
And it's because he had some problem. It wasn't this voice is not my fault, and he did a whole thing this week about it, which is why Big Show's being given a hard time because he was making fun of his voice.
If you look at a lot of the older guys in the business, I'm going way back even before my time. A lot of their voices are shot. Even Vince, when Vince started doing commentating when he was young, he had a totally different voice.
Yeah.
And then he came up with this stuff, and then it became him. I guess everybody.
Randy Savage had that kind of raspy voice when he would talk normally as well. It seems to, those 80s, voices they would put on and the shouting, I guess killed all their voices.
It became the voice box just became destroyed.
Throat lozenges.
Yeah.
You got to mix those in.
Yes, you do.
I do every night.
I do some opera.
Chamomile tea?
Voice stuff for your throat. So
Oh, yeah.
come
Do you
from
gargle?
there.
Well, it's a personal question.
I'm sorry. I didn't say swallow.
We'll leave that to the imagination.
Okay. Okay, now we have Heath Slater was back.
Heath Slater,
The one-man
versus
Southern
Ryback.
rock band.
I hate that name. I don't understand what that means. Austin was just saying he likes it. I don't know. Is he a band? Does he play an instrument? I don't understand what that means.
No, he's the whole show because he's so exciting.
He's a Heath bar. He's a Heath bar.
He's an endless waterfall of fun. He's a Heath bar.
Why do you like him so much?
Because I feel like if he's doing it, I'm going to be able to do it. So,
That's a good. Yeah, there's a few people on the show that are that way.
I thought he was matched up against an animal, though.
But Gary, they do this every week.
Goldberg. I mean Ryback.
they were chanting that. They were chanting Goldberg.
Yeah, they do. And I think it was Mike Sanders a couple weeks said every time he looks at him, he thinks of Goldberg in an RVD singlet.
Oh man,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, Ryback he was Skip Sheffield in NXT, and then he got injured, and before that he was in FCW and working really hard. So he's had a lot of years where he's been trying to do this, and his FCW gimmick was this kind of prototype guy from the future kind of thing, and it's now carried over to be Ryback on SmackDown. So they've kind of turned it right now. It is basically kind of just a straight Goldberg kind of ripoff.
Right.
But I'm hoping because I think he has a good look, and I'm hoping
does.
that he will kind of find his own niche within this kind of Goldberg, instead of who's next, feed me kind of angle.
I like that whole feed me thing.
Yeah,
going
and I
on.
like he always says something different after he pins the guy too, and it's intense, and I like the intensity. They don't have guys that are that intense anymore.
Yeah.
Very intense.
Yeah.
Didn't they have Mason Ryan in that slot at one point?
He's just not. He
doesn't work.
I don't think he can do that. I mean, they're gonna do something different with him now because he's they're pairing him up with AW. But,
and they've also been pairing him up with Dolph Ziggler on house shows and as his bodyguard the last week or so.
He's got a great look.
I think they wanted him to be kind of like a Batista.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He looks like Batista with no tattoos.
I heard he hates that.
Does he? I'm sure. I would think so.
Yeah, he wants to be his own
You know what I mean, right?
thing. No, I know what you're saying. Exactly.
Yeah. But Ryback, someone's got to sell that clothesline too a little bit better for him. Like that one guy did that clothesline where he landed on the back of his neck.
Yes.
And no one else has done it since. So someone's got to flip or something. Like just give him a little bit more to make it look more impactful.
Exactly. The guy is impressive.
Yeah.
He is. I like him. It'll be interesting to see where they go with this, because it's interesting. They had all the jobbers, the local jobbers that were bringing in. Now they're starting to feed them
guys they're getting rid of.
Right. Yeah. The Heath Slaters.
That's
and,
right.
Who was it? The Bateman the week before. My guess is Justin Gabriel or one of the guys will be the next to be taken out.
He's selling a little bit for the other guys, just a minute for a minute, and then he goes back.
Yeah.
So before it wasn't like that.
Yeah, they're progressing it up until I haven't seen much of him. I didn't really watch him much on NXT, but it'll be interesting to see how he is when they actually start putting him in with real workers.
Yeah.
Or at least not real workers, but putting him in with matches that are longer.
Yeah, seasoned wrestlers that know what they're doing.
Yeah, and longer non-squash matches.
Right.
I like that, though, with him chasing him around. As soon as he gets a hold of him, he crushes him.
It's exciting.
It is.
Yeah,
Well,
it's old
that's-
school.
that's old school.
What I
It
grew up
is.
watching.
It's
Yeah.
old school squash matches.
Yeah, and you're rooting for that.
Yeah,
Like, get on.
Ultimate Warrior would run down to the ring, beat the crap out of somebody, drop them on their head, splash them, and that was it.
The Ultimate Warrior
Shake the
would
ropes.
run down to the ring.
He was the best
blow-
wrestler in the world.
He'd,
Oh
he'd
my
blow
God,
up before he got in there.
Exactly.
Run around the ring 3 times, and that was his cardio. Done.
Yeah,
But he had a good look.
Great look and the weirdest promos of all time. I was at a buddy's house after class on Tuesday talking about the Ultimate Warrior. I'm like, you never watched his promos? He's like, no, we threw up a bunch of his promos on YouTube, and my friend was just laughing his ass off. He's like, what is he talking about? Spaceships and
Nobody can write that stuff for him.
no.
There's a lot of things going on in that mind.
The classic WrestleMania 6 with Hogan about taking the ship to a nosedive to parts unknown. It was just
The airplane?
crazy.
Yeah.
The airplane. Hulk Hogan. Hogan. Take control of the cockpit, Hulk Hogan.
Okay, now you're just putting it into a,
Sorry. Now I'm marking out.
All right.
Where's the lucha mask?
Let's go to Teddy introduced Alex Riley and was it Antonio and Cesaro?
Teddy with his giant name tag, which I think is brilliant.
He doesn't want to forget who he is.
No, Eve made him wear that. I think it's like everybody needs to wear name tags now. He's just this giant name tag on him all the time. It's so funny.
Oh man.
Which, as I've said before, I love what they're doing with Teddy Long. He's so sympathetic right now. Like, I didn't like him as the general manager, and you feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job
Yeah.
with that. Hopefully he'll come up on top.
And we've all
cared-
been there too, where
Yeah.
like, is his girlfriend's now like with or the girl that he was interested in is now bringing out this guy Antonio Cesaro, and it's kind of like makes me think of maybe like you came out with Marissa next week or something, and
You'd be upset.
I'd be pretty upset.
Oh yeah.
Marissa and I might do that. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I haven't asked her, but I'm sure she'll go for
Just
it.
start making out in front of me, and I
Yeah.
can't. And I have
Oh,
a name
yeah,
tag on, and I can't do anything.
I'm even gonna lube up with my chapstick in between.
You could squeeze out some tears
I'm
for
out
us,
of here. I'm
too.
leaving. Goodbye.
Cesaro is looking really great, though. I mean, I'm so happy they brought him in.
I like him.
He's a seasoned guy. And
Yeah.
he's been around forever.
Yeah.
The big Swede. He's an athlete. He's a phenom. I think also he's tall and lean, but just a lot of muscle on
I like his nipples.
He's got very nice nipples.
I don't know if you noticed.
I did notice he's got very large nipples.
He moves well too. Man.
Yeah, he's been around everywhere. He's Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah.
He's wrestled Ring of Honor, PWG. He's wrestled everywhere.
Does he have some collegiate wrestling background also?
I don't know.
He moves
Rugby.
like it. Rugby?
I
think so.
That's what the gimmick is, that he's a rugby player, but I don't know if he actually played rugby
No, I
or
don't know.
not.
He's got those knee wraps.
Yeah, we were talking about those knee wraps are cool.
Yeah, they're above the knee. They're quad wraps.
Yeah, does
the
that
quad
help
wraps,
like
yeah.
relieve
Yeah.
like localized knee pain and stuff? Because I might want to get my hands on those for like when I'm doing Pilates. and stuff.
Supposedly, that's all they are. Is like when your hands get sweaty, it's to wipe your hands. So,
Oh well, I could use that for other
yeah.
things. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was a squash. Alex Riley has really fallen from grace.
Yeah.
From being,
Yep.
he brought Miz down. He was in the main event of WrestleMania last
Yeah,
year,
what happened?
accompanying Miz.
SummerSlam, he had a major match, I think, at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
What's
He
happening?
he was going over the Miz. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's in the doghouse. It must be.
Yeah.
I met him down at the beach. I told you.
Yeah. He
Firehouse.
said he's a really nice guy.
Really good guy. He was with Cody Rhodes and he was with Mason Ryan.
His dad is like I think works on Sports Center or something. Is like a one of the hosts on Sports Center works for ESPN. Yeah,
he could pull off that All-American Marine look too.
Well, he was in the Marine too.
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't he?
Oh my God, that's right. He was
did the
movie.
Yeah, he did the movie.
Oh, he was in the
I thought the
movie.
Marine 2 was Ted DiBiase Jr. Right?
It was Ted DiBiase.
Well, they're the same guy, aren't they? I've never seen them in the same place at the same time. He could be the Marine 8.
Kind of like
whatever
Michael and
they're at
Janet
now.
Jackson.
Exactly. But no, yeah, he's fallen off, and I think that's the thing. Everyone gets an opportunity, and like it's up to them to do something with it. And whatever happened, something has gone awry. So he's no longer Alex Riley's no longer getting that opportunity.
Yeah, but he's still there.
Which is unfortunate because he's got a good look,
He does. He used to look a lot like the Miz. I thought they were like brothers.
Yeah,
not so much alike.
Yeah.
He may be one of those guys that just needs to be cut, go to the Indies, work around the world, and then come back.
Yeah.
Because I think he was a straight development guy, right?
Can I ask you a question about that?
What's that?
Is that like taking a break from a marriage, having an affair for a year, and then coming back to the marriage?
Yes.
A new person?
Yeah.
So we can all do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of us.
But I mean,
if you believe in marriage.
You're seeing that with. I mean, we're going to talk about him later, but Damian Sandow, Austin Idol Stevens was in development for a long time.
That's Damian Sandow right there. Austin is Damian Sandow.
Well, that was my idea for.
You guys look alike. Without the glasses.
I think I'm a little dreamier.
Take them off. Take them off just for a second.
All right.
Damian Sandow. Give me something provocative.
Foolish consistencies are the hobgoblins of little minds, so said Ralph Waldo Emerson.
All right.
That's perfect.
Man. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. Damian Sandow.
Wow.
You're welcome.
It is him. Mm-hmm. For you
that was
viewers
my
out
idea.
there, Damian Sandow.
Yeah. That was my idea, but we're digressing because he's coming up later, isn't he?
Why do you keep looking over there?
Because I got to read pretty soon, don't I? I mean, as soon as you're talking about
well,
got my next tribute to Marissa.
Like I said before to Patricia, keep your pants on.
They're off right now.
Oh God!
They were off.
You don't know what's going on down
That's
there.
how you keep the crease in the pants when you're sitting.
Yes, but you
Seinfeld.
leave splashes on the seat.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
That smells great over here right now.
I'm sure. Smells like old broccoli. It's cauliflower.
You're loving it when you talk.
All right. All right.
Milk.
So let's move on to we have Del Rio versus Orton.
Actually, first we have iTunes.
But first,
Here you go, Austin. You're on.
I must say, for all the viewers and listeners out there, go to iTunes, rate and comment, tell a friend, and guess what? It only takes a minute. I love you, Marissa.
Because we do this for free.
Thank you, Austin.
Yes,
so
we
please go.
We do it for all your viewers, and comments really do count on iTunes. It
Yes.
really helps up the level of our show, and we really want that bad.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Because we love doing this. We love having you here too,
Thanks.
and Gary.
This is
Yeah,
fun.
it's good
It's
to
a
be here.
fun show today.
Honored to be here.
Nice.
All right, Ryan.
Oh, then and actually one thing it's not up there, but I just want to mention they did a whole bit on the Make-A-Wish Foundation and John Cena's and everybody's involvement in that, which is a really great charity that they do a lot of work with. I think John Cena they said now he's given more wishes than any celebrity in history. Wow. So he really does a lot of work.
That was touching too. It
Yeah.
was, oh my gosh, it was an incredible program.
Yeah, and all these fans that want to just go and just yell, Cena sucks at every show, and it's like this guy works harder than anybody else.
Yeah.
He does.
Like
Yeah.
They don't see that.
They don't see it.
He doesn't have a day off usually.
He doesn't have a day off. It's like his entire life, and I don't think anyone has done it as long and as successful as he has. This many days a year. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's disciplined.
And it's sacrifice. I don't know if you know this, but he just filed for divorce this week.
Did he?
Yes.
Is that because of Eve?
I don't know, maybe.
boy.
But yeah, very sad. But yeah, John Cena just filed for divorce
boy,
of
that's
his
a lot
wife
to go
of
through.
3 years. Yeah. But I mean, you can see why. I mean, he's probably never home. I mean, he works harder than anybody.
I don't
His
think any
schedule's
relationship
crazy.
should go more than 3 years. It burns out. It's like a lease car. You got to put that back to the new car, right? I've gone through 5 of them in the past 6 months, so it's like
Well, maybe you just haven't met the right one.
it's right for the moment. The driver's seat fits, and I enjoy the brake pedals and all that,
Yeah.
and the gas, and it's got a lot of gas going and power, and then I'm done. I run it down the freeway, and it wears out, and I got to get a new one.
What about
Yeah.
true love?
There's no such thing anymore
Marissa?
for you.
No.
And just when we're mentioning the Make-A-Wish Foundation, I don't know if you watched the before WrestleMania, the Rock Cena, whatever, I forget the name of the show, but they did a whole hour documentary on kind of their lives and who they are as people. And with Cena, Triple H was doing an interview saying, how busy that guy is, and people are pulling him in a million directions. Whenever they say, "Hey, there's a kid over here," done. He walks over to that kid. It doesn't matter what else is going on.
Yeah.
That kid is the only thing in the world.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, they say just what an incredible guy he is with that.
He's real. He's the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he said in that same thing, he said, they did the little thing on the Make-A-Wish, and he's like, this is really cool for you to do with the cameras, but he hadn't let cameras ever film that for a long time because he didn't want people to think he was doing it for the wrong reason. Yeah. He's like, if there were no cameras here, I'd still be here doing
That's
this.
all from the heart. That's wonderful. Know that.
And he can deadlift a lot of weight too.
He did a running tackle on me on one of his shows. He was playing a cop that got thrown out of the police force and had to fight it. And I went to New Mexico and he did a running tackle on me. He was a great guy to be with, great guy to work with.
Did they knock you through a glass
workhorse?
Not the glass window on that one. He took me over a planter, tackled me over a planter on this. I was released, a bad guy that was released outside the courtroom, and I was talking, and he couldn't handle it, so he tackled me in front of all the cameras, and so his sergeant kept on playing it back and forth.
I forgot to mention it. You were also Jake Fury on Battle Dome.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of memories of that. I got scars all over my body on that, but we're digressing.
Yes. I like to digress. All I have left is my past. I'm like Willie Nelson in his song, I have a wonderful future behind me.
Oof. It's depressing me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
Hey, back to the match. Though.
Yeah. Orton and Del Rio, which was... They got the RKO on Rodriguez, which is cool.
Yeah.
So... That was the only thing I really remember about the match. I didn't think it. I mean, it was okay.
Let me throw this out there. Randy Orton has a little bit of the Rock in him, doesn't he? I mean, that little bit of the jumps up on the railing.
I see that.
Poses, just a touch.
Well, what about? I think Del Rio has got probably the best. You talk about character and like facial expressions and the way he just makes faces at the camera and stuff and. He's such a sinister heel, and he just knows where to look at the right times for us to see it on TV, and it's like one of the best I've seen.
That's very true.
Yeah, he's just really good at that. And he just conveys all that emotion without having to do too much. It's great.
And what's funny is he wrestled under a mask most of his career as Dos Caras Jr. He's a luchador, so I mean
that's crazy.
They pulled the mask off him, but he's he fought Mirko Cro Cop and Pride with a mask on.
You really are a super fan.
Oh, dude, I watch way too much wrestling.
Well, years ago, the Mexico, they had El Santo and the Blue Demon. One of these guys, they did all the movies, the wrestling movies, but they were like private eye guys, and there were capes in their sports cars, and they fly out of the car and they chase somebody into a party, and they'd talk there, and they'd have a wrestling match outside, and they get in a fight, and they had the mask on. But those types of actors down in Mexico are very visual as far as expressions. If you watch the Mexican soap operas, which I do, and Austin does,
God, yes,
their facial expressions are worth everything. Yeah. So they learned that, to do that.
Yeah.
Sonia
Why are you looking at me like that?
I was just thinking Mexican soap operas and the women on that. I
don't
understand what they're saying, but
you
can
stare
just
at it.
Stare at it.
I get some chips and salsa, and I just watch it. And it's like, oh my God, I fall in love with
sorry, I went into another world there the minute you mentioned Mexican soap operas.
Hey, but they went for his shoulder also, Orton's shoulder.
Yeah, and that's Del Rio's finisher is an arm.
What a great move.
Is a great move. Yeah. And so we've talked before, he's really old school. He's working that arm throughout the whole match, trying to set up for his finisher.
Yeah,
which is really
that finisher is unbelievable. I love that move.
It's great.
I don't know if I can still do it. I did get in the ring today, though.
You did get in the ring, yes.
I did.
Whoa.
Yeah, Rick and I locked up a little bit today.
Then we took it home.
Yeah.
Lock up, take it home.
Yeah.
The way to do it.
All right, we got R-Truth versus Swagger.
R-Truth versus Swagger.
I like both of them.
I do
too. Yeah, Swagger's growing on me a bit.
I like him.
Jack Swagger in person is a lot bigger than he looks on TV.
He looks huge. He looks like a Kowalski.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like thick. Like he's like, obviously he's tall, but like
Wait,
he's like
what was the term?
Thick.
I don't know why you said dick.
Excuse me.
Okay.
I wouldn't use that kind of language in front of Marissa. Come on.
She's probably already.
How was his attitude, man? Is he like that outside the ring?
I haven't spoken to him. I don't know.
Don't you think he has an old school look? He looks like Kowalski back in the day. He reminds me of that type of character.
Yeah, with the hair and
he's got like a big back and long arms.
Not super athletic. Yeah, not real muscular. But
I got to put over in his entrance when he just drops down to the push-ups from full standing 6'5" all the way down to his hands right into a push-up.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Go home and try to do that. You'll fall on your face. I mean, that's...
it's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah, it's very scary.
There's people that make fun of him, but I think the guy's great. He's got a great look, and I think he's good.
Yeah.
As well as R-Truth. I mean, that guy's phenomenal.
I think, graduated college. I was looking up like 2005, 2006, went straight into development. So he's only been around a few years. And
wow.
So
So he's younger than he
Oh,
looks.
he's very young. I think he finished college 2005. I think was his graduating date, and went straight into development.
Oh, wow.
And
Good for him.
yeah, so I mean, he's obviously, it's a different era, so he hasn't been all over the world traveling and working all different places. So, he's getting there. He's got a lot of potential.
Did you like R-Truth when he first came out in the business? Were you?
Yeah, I used to, when he was on the Truth Killings in TNA, he was the World Heavyweight Champion over there. Yeah, I actually have met R-Truth when I was doing a reality series, or developing a reality series with Jeff Jarrett and TNA guys. Very nice guy.
He's very talented.
Yeah, very talented.
Wrestling with piercings, though, man, that's gotta be risky.
not-
Do you keep them in?
Oh yeah, I only have one in my lip. But,
Yeah.
it's never been hit. Ever.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Everything else has been hit.
Yeah, we've got Aaron, another guy in our class, has a bunch of piercings, and he always wrestles with them.
Keeps them in.
The-
huh? Wow.
I think you and I should get some.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I think
Look at
that
that diamond.
I think you'd look good with like a Monroe or something. Yeah. I could give you a Prince Albert. I know how to do that.
I gotta
I mean, a
mention
Lord
too,
Tensai.
when Kofi Kingston came flying off the steps, and watching him fly through there is just beautiful.
Yes.
It's just like, it's poetry in motion.
Yes.
It's incredible to
Yes.
watch him. I've never seen anyone else fly through the air so effortlessly.
He glides like
he
a
does.
bird. It's like no effort to him
He
at
makes
all.
it look easy.
It,
He does.
it looks like he just springs off his toes, sort of off one foot and through the air. Like, how does he do that?
He learned that from the $6 Million Man, Lee Majors.
A lot of calf raises.
They just don't have the music to go with it.
Yeah. And one thing I want to complain about a little bit here is the announcers, is when Kofi did it at the end, he did the little kick to little heelish move there to get the win, to when he kicked Swagger from outside.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Back in the 80s when I watched it, if that was either Jesse Ventura or Bobby Heenan, they would have gone crazy. Going, can you believe Kofi, dirty player? But they would have gone nuts, because they used to go after the baby faces when they would cheat.
Yeah.
And the heel announcer, Michael Cole, just kind of brushed it off, and that made me, I didn't like that very much. I think the announcing is terrible these days compared to what it used to be.
Oh yeah. Well, it's night and day.
It's way different. It has nothing to do with the match. It has to do with storylines and
That could be the way they want it, though, right?
It is. It's
That's the
exactly
thing.
what
They
want.
don't want they don't want you calling the matches. I think. I mean, I think what they want you to avoid, calling move by move. They don't want to hear that anymore. There's no play by play. They kind of just telling stories and vignettes here and there. And and Michael Cole's like not even a full heel anymore, because he'll get up and dance for the Funkasaurus, and the Funkasaurus is like a face. But so I think it's a weird mix of like he needs to be heel when he needs to be heel. But then, there's a million things being shot in their ear too, probably at the same time. So I think it's got to be tough for them to figure out, when to say those things or not. Because like one of my favorite guys is Josh Matthews. I think he's great.
Yeah, he is good.
And he can't really say too much probably. And I know he knows like tons of moves and probably could talk about anything forever in wrestling. But
He was a pretty good wrestler if you watch him on Tough Enough.
Yeah,
he was.
The first
I remember.
season, yeah.
Yeah, but he's got his
fly.
thing that he's
Good bump.
supposed to do.
And you've got a director in your ear the whole time, as you know. in
Yeah.
You've got
production,
Vince in your ear.
Yeah.
I mean, they say Vince is right there, I think, popping, telling him what to say a lot of times.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay. Santino and Ryder versus Titus O'Neil and Darren Young.
Yeah.
Santino's a crack up, man.
I love him.
He's like a wind up toy.
Yeah.
That Cobra thing is... It's like the new people's elbow. It's the dumbest thing. It makes no sense why anyone would ever get pinned to that. But the crowd goes crazy.
It's like Sacco.
Yeah, Sacco is another one. He puts that thing on, and it's just... and the crowd goes
But you
nuts.
got to love the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's fun.
Yeah,
he
he's
makes it
charismatic.
fun.
He's the best, and he takes from like pop culture movies and stuff when he comes up with like. I remember he was saying something about like how he was teaching the Cobra to fight the Sacco like real quick, and he's like, I learned that from like Karate Kid or something like where he just saw something and used it. And like there was one match I saw, I remember that I loved. He was on the top rope and he couldn't do it. So he jumped to the second rope and he was still too high, so he went to the bottom rope and then did a headbutt. Like he was too scared to be on the top rope.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it.
And he'll
things.
use the wrong words, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but he'll be saying things incorrectly, and
Yeah.
it's very funny. But the way he does it, he's brilliant. And I know we were talking about this right before. I like the Titus O'Neil and Darren Young team. I know you weren't as.
I mean, not that I don't. I like that they're using young guys. Anytime they're using young guys, it's a great thing. I mean, I don't know if necessarily they've found their niche yet.
Right.
Like I don't know if this is what they're going to end up being overall. But I mean, it's a developmental process.
Exactly.
So,
They're only been a team for a couple months.
Yeah.
And for that, I think they're the one thing I liked, they had tights that looked the same.
Yeah.
They were doing double team moves.
Yeah.
They're trying to be a tag team.
That's
which
good. Yeah.
isn't like R-Truth and Kofi that are thrown together.
I'd like to see those two guys against the Simone new boys.
The Usos.
Yeah.
That would be good. It seems like they're really starting to give them a push up the tag team ranks, because if you NXT maybe 3 months ago when they first got together, before that Titus O'Neil was a babyface. Boring. I mean, boring. I was like, really? I don't want to watch. How is this guy even on the roster? And now, like once they turned him heel, and stuck him with Darren Young, totally different. And they're getting some personality in them, and
starting to grow.
It's starting to. I mean, I think it's gonna. Let's see what these guys do 3-4 months down the road.
Yep.
I think we're gonna see them climb. I think they're gonna get better and better and better. I think there's a big upside to those two guys.
I think so too.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. I hope so.
Okay.
And they need more tag teams like that. They need more
They
guys.
do need tag teams.
Yeah.
That are stay tag teams.
That are real tag teams.
Like 80s.
Yeah, like the 80s, and even the late 90s as well, when you had Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys, and Too Cool. There was a great tag.
Yeah.
They brought the tag team wrestling back, and they need to do that again.
Yeah, they
Get
do.
real tag teams, because as we know, it takes a long time to learn to wrestle, but to even it takes a long time to be a tag team and get that chemistry and figure out yourselves as a team.
Right.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Nope. Okay, we got Brodus Clay.
Funkasaurus and Hunico. Poor Hunico, just getting squashed these days. He's such a talented wrestler.
Yeah. It happens to them, though.
I know it does.
And Hunico was the other Sin Cara.
Sin Cara Negro. Yes.
Yeah, and look how he changed too. As soon as he became a heel, no more high flying. Like, and it's just a completely different style of wrestling. And he pulled, and it's like, oh, was this guy really doing all those flips as Sin Cara? It's incredible what he can do.
Yeah.
But they're not using him.
Wow. Yeah, because it was crushing. Yeah.
He took that big backdrop though. He took an awesome, perfect backdrop there. I mean, got way up in the air.
Well, the lucha match we saw out there, that the Fern Run.
I was in the back, so I did not
the
get to
guys
see
were
that
awesome.
match. But
They're
everybody
awesome.
told me it was an incredible
They're
match.
all over the damn. No matter what size they're all over the place. So they can do heel or face either way. So if they have to do heel, they don't take the bumps. Well, they do take the bumps. But it's the ability is right there. I mean, he can bring it back anytime he wants. Apparently, for what he's doing now, he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But he's good. Wow. I mean, we know he's good.
It's a totally different style.
Totally different. It's like an actor who changes character. I mean, Gary, you've done it plenty of times.
Yeah, you change up and
look how you changed up today. And made yourself nice today.
Changing character.
I thought that
Funkasaurus.
I thought I thought the dancers were incredible though.
The Funkettes or the
The Funkadactyls.
Funkadactyls. That's the new one.
That's the new one.
I wonder why. You like that booty?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one of the Funkadactyls was the very first person cut from the last season of Tough Enough. The girl that was holding up her ring gear as she would run, and I forget which one she is.
Isn't it nice how they find a place for these people, even after they release them from something like that?
What's funny is all the girls almost got signed from that show, or a bunch of them have, and like none of the guys have. They just cut Andy, who won the show.
Yeah.
The last one.
For not being ring ready? Or
is that what it was
for?
He
wasn't experienced enough. They needed to get him more experience.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't, or it wasn't catching on.
Wasn't catching on to their standard.
Jeez, it's changed so much over the years.
Yeah.
All right, the Paul Heyman came in.
Yeah, they did a little bit of recap from Raw of the Brock breaking Triple H's arm, which some people have given Triple H a little bit of a hard time because next week he accompanied Floyd Mayweather to the ring in the boxing match and was holding his title belt with the broken arm.
He was?
Yeah. No. I guess he did kind of have a sling on, but then he was doing stuff with the arm.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done that. Years ago, they wouldn't have done that.
No. But I loved the Heyman promo and the letter he read from Brock Lesnar. Love it.
Heyman's great.
Yeah, and you know what was really great? I love the way, they said, Brock Lesnar said in his little thing that Paul read, how Triple H had a match with Undertaker for an hour, and it only took him a minute to take him out.
That was good.
Yeah.
And also that he's quitting, too.
Yeah.
You know that's going to continue. He'll come
He's
back.
Like, he broke my contract, so I broke his arm. I just, oof.
It's good storyline.
Yeah, Brock's the ultimate heel right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it feels real.
Yeah. And you know what? He moves well. I mean, he's throwing punches, and it's not those back slaps. He's throwing.
Did you see the Extreme Rules match with him and Cena, where it was a MMA fight in the beginning?
So highlighted.
Really?
The beginning of that was legit shoot elbows to the top of the head. I mean, they were trying to bust Cena open right away. It was nasty. I mean, you watch this thing, it's like, oh my God, I couldn't believe Cena was even at Raw the next day. It was brutal. It was a brutal match.
Very believable.
Yeah, very believable. It was
I imagine
good.
Brock probably crosses that line a little bit off and on. I mean, he's
Scariest man on the planet.
stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, who are you to say, hey, knock it off?
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
There's a lot of men I'd want to meet in the back of a dark alley, but not him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, the comedian, on.
Anyway.
Joe Rogan, the comedian who does the UFC, was talking once on his podcast about Brock Lesnar and said, if this was back in the day of Vikings, all the people that Brock Lesnar beat up would work for him and be chained up in his yard. You know,
God.
you know, it's just, he's that guy. You know, that would be the leader that would just beat you up. Oh.
That was a movie with Rory Calhoun, Hotel Hell, and he had everybody buried in the backyard years and years ago. All right, let's move on to the four-way match and then close this out.
Or the final. It was Jericho versus Sheamus, which I guess was the best match of the night. Once again, commercial in the middle of the match.
Yes.
I hate it.
I know.
Totally destroys the match for me. Just lose all the momentum of it. And it was good going into that.
Yeah. I thought Jericho was flying pretty well, too. You know, he's getting up in the air. Rick, you getting up in the air like that? Did you?
I got up a step here today. That's a big thing for me.
Jericho does yoga, apparently.
Jericho does DDP yoga.
Yeah.
Yes, we had DDP in a couple weeks ago.
He hasn't done the weights in a year, according to Dallas Page.
Yeah. Only the yoga. That's all he does.
Yeah. Wow. I went out for yogurt the other night.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Took my grandkids out, had yogurt, and thought about yoga.
That
Did it work?
That video of the guy, the disabled vet that if people haven't seen that, go watch it. Arthur, I forget what his name is, the DDP. If you type in Arthur DDP into yoga into YouTube,
amazing.
you'll find it. To watch this guy who's 300 pounds. He had been on crutches for 15 years. They told him he'd never really walk again on his own. And in 9 months, he lost half his body weight and was sprinting. I mean, his son.
Really?
It's incredible to watch this. And it was only doing this DDP yoga.
I've heard of it, but I heard of this, but I haven't seen it.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it'll give you chills to watch this guy go. It doesn't even look like the same person.
I think Austin has chills.
I do. I get chills when I see Marissa.
Is that like taking a body part and going back to it? Keep going back?
Yeah, exactly.
Marissa's part of the match now. So what about some
is.
predictions, my friend Ryan?
Oh, predictions.
And now,
I don't know. I don't have a prediction this week. Do you have a prediction?
I would like to predict that Drew McIntyre please return to the... I miss Drew McIntyre. Can I start a petition?
Where is Drew McIntyre?
I'd like to start a petition for him to come back to Raw or SmackDown or something. I'm worried he maybe is no longer with SmackDown. I don't know. I haven't heard, but he's one of my favorites. I don't know. He never gets a run, and I just really I like his look, and
he's very good.
I got a little bit of a man crush on him. So
he's very, very good.
Yeah. But predictions. What were we talking?
No, just maybe. Yeah, I'd like to see where it goes with AJ and Kaitlyn. I mean, I'm really excited.
I would predict AJ is going to go heel. I think they're going to turn her psychotic heel, and then probably get her back with Daniel Bryan because he'll like her then.
Yeah.
I predict that AJ maybe helps Daniel Bryan win the title from CM Punk somehow, and that's a big setup. Maybe
could be.
Maybe.
I'm looking real that match. I
can't wait for that match.
I predicted last week that could be match of the year. That's going to be such a great
if they let
match.
them do whatever they want to do, which they probably will. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, because I got to believe that'll be the main event, right? So they'll probably just give them, take 45 minutes, go out and do your best, which is what they did. Supposedly that's what they did at Money in the Bank last year with Cena and Punk, and just let them go and call it in the ring. And they did 40 minutes with the entrances and everything. It was awesome.
I want another prediction. I don't know how it's going to go with Laurinaitis and Cena. Is he actually going to get in the ring and wrestle, or are we going to lead up to it and he's going to run out? Or what?
From what I've read, this is actually going to happen. This is not going to be. There's not going to be a bait and switch on this. He is actually going to wrestle the match.
How Vince used to do that and he ran out.
Okay. And they actually did that with because they teased Laurinaitis wrestling when he was doing the CM Punk program a few months back, and he was supposed to wrestle him, and they switched it out.
Yeah.
I don't think. Supposedly they're not going to do that. He's actually going to wrestle him.
Cool.
Is what I hear.
Well, we'll see what happens.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You know, they need to keep pushing him as a legit wrestler. This guy is not just a figurehead. He has a legit career in Japan, and he can take you to town.
Well, thank you for watching SmackDown After Show, and Austin for being here, and Gary Kasper, and Ryan, my good friend.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun today.
Yes.
But we're going to have more fun, aren't we? Because
Yes.
we're going to stay tuned for Old School Wrestling, where we can talk
And
about
I just
a lot
want
of
to
stuff.
say real quick,
Yes.
tonight in Simi Valley, Millennium Pro Wrestling, myself and Mr. Draven here both have a
That's right.
wrestling. We actually may be a tag team, I believe,
Oh,
potentially.
this could be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
Is Marissa coming?
Yes. Is there anything you'd like
I
to
don't
push,
know.
Gary? Anything you got coming up you want to talk about?
I got a film coming up here in July. It's a vampire movie. I'm
Nice.
playing a heavy.
Oh, wow.
You're always doing
But
something.
yeah, just kind of.
And then get you on Waterworld at Universal?
Yeah, I'm up there. I'm up there when I'm healthy. I got some staples in my shin right now, so I'm out of the water for a little bit. But
That's a fun
I
show.
get
That
that
show's
good
better
luck.
than the movie.
yeah, you know what nobody even knows what the movie was
Yeah.
about now. As far
Right.
as now, they just know it's a live show with all the jet skis.
And also,
a lot of fun.
Go to my website, ricdrasin.com. I have a book on my life there. I have videos on the Muscles, the video from 1987. I have a book on how to promote wrestling and how to run a wrestling school. And I got so much going on. But go to ricdrasin.com and rickscorner.com. You'll see more interviews on wrestling and bodybuilding. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Old School Wrestling is coming up next.
Yeah.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.